breeze blowing, storm clouds moving in. Whatever's gonna happen, it's about to begin. I remember what the drunk donkey told me when he said, son, don't fear. Mike's where the page life is about to begin. Then he's gonna tell you about the wind and the rain. Gonna tell you which way it's going, if it's gonna be a hurricane. Don't you worry about the news that they try to hide. Just click on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide. There'll always be some haters, but they don't understand that Mike's got a friend and 100,000 more across the land. Well, if you want to know it first and you want to know it right and you want to have time to plan, Drunk Donkey Nation tells you, friend, Mike, he's your man. Then he's gonna tell you all about the wind and the rain. Gonna tell you if it's gonna be a storm or if it's gonna be a hurricane. Don't you worry about the news others try to hide. Click on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide. Yeah, here at Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nation Pride.
Good morning, what's up? It is Monday. I got the date right today. That's a first. I messed it up yesterday. It is Monday, July 29th. Coming to you live from Oldsmar. This is Mike from Mike's Web Page and Louie. Today's Louie. We had Hunter, but we had BOGO Hunter last week, Thursday, Friday, and yesterday, I think. We did a special live last night. If you didn't catch it, we were live last night at 8 o'clock. We tend to go live in the evening when there's stuff to talk about. So we might go live tonight. We will see. But right now, we are live now. This is when it counts. So welcome, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Lots of unknowns. We're going to get into it. Should be no panic right now. Should be no worries. There should be nobody canceling anything, because we're talking about a system that's not even developed yet. It's not an it is a clump of clouds, and there's a lot of uncertainty. There's other times that we are more certain than others. This is not one of those times that we're certain of anything. So there's a lot of possibilities, yes, and that's what I do. That's what I do. The bigger we get, the more I try to respond and react to messaging. And I get a lot of folks don't get what we do here, but I'm always going back to my roots, which are showing all possibilities, showing all models, talking about ifs, and never saying never in the tropics. So I don't think that's for everybody, but that's kind of what we are. So if we had some sort of a mission statement, that's kind of it in a nutshell. So and I totally understand when it might be not what some like. And that's why we say in National Hurricane Center, National Weather Service, NHC, NWC, highly recommend this time of year as your primary source for information, if that's kind of what you're looking for. But anyway, glad to have you. We usually chit-chat about an hour. We do talk at the end. Coffee, yes, Greg. Shelly will hook you up with the link there, man. It is awesome. We're going to say hello for a little while. That's what we do. We are supported by fans and followers and friends. And Louie likes to yawn a lot. We give Louie about 3 yawns before we get him down. There's yawn number 1. I do these little reels. I'll be doing one after this one. So, I do these 90-second reels. So there you go. And if you have questions for stuff, I normally have talked about it already. You got to go back on everybody. It doesn't matter who you follow. The key to social media is scrolling back and looking at all posts, and chances are it's been talked about. So we'll get into all your possibilities, travel decisions, cruising. That's not what I get into. Those are your own personal decisions. Don't even say evacuation yet, because we don't have anything yet. We got a lot of folks in the islands. This is not something that's going to concern you. It looks like maybe rain. It's fast moving. But we'll get into all that. So again, we're going to say hi to everybody now as we say hello. This is our Daily Brew, and we are proudly supported by many folks, one being ABC, the ABC of weather, social weather. Big thanks to ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. So we do have an IPA coming out soon, and you'll be able to get it at ABC across the great state of Florida. So thanks to them for all that they do, for sure. Here's what we're going to talk about here in the coming minutes. Patience. Shelly, good morning. She's our admin over on the East Coast. We appreciate her always. We met back in 2016 during Matthew. I've been going live on Facebook since 16 now, ever since Facebook started. And now we are live on X and YouTube. Right. PCB, what's up, Denny? Cat 5, no. Hopefully we're not even going to mention that. This is kind of a Matthew vibe and storm, kind of a Dorian vibe and storm as far as track. Kind of coming on that east side. We're going to get into that. Models are all over the place. We're going to get into that, but we're going to do it slow ride. Good morning, John. Good morning, Crystal, Eric, North Carolina, SLVFD. Saharan sands have been minimizing it. Yes, hyper. But the dust, usually around 50 degrees, becomes less and less. Waters are hot. Kind of normal hot, believe it or not. We got a few little pockets of cooler, got pockets of warmer. So, not breaking news hot, but hot enough for anything. Anything goes. Water's hot. Matthew vibe as far as track goes. If you're a Euro fan, you know what I'm talking about. Texas watching, Bobby. Well, man, don't ever say never in the tropics, but unless this thing stays extremely weak in west. Sandra's here for you, Louie. Well, it's supposed to hit. Those are two words we don't really want to talk about. Somebody just asked, when's it going to hit? Well, it's not at it right now, but Bahamas Friday-ish. Could be as close to the lower Florida later Friday. Could be over the weekend for Florida if it's going to hit Florida. It hit. If it does go a little more into the Gulf, it'd be more later in the weekend, early week. Same thing goes for the East Coast. So, no spaghetti models yet. Russ, great question. This is not an invest area. So in order to get true spaghetti models that you love on tropicaltidbits.com, spaghetti models only run when we have an invest area. And right now there's no true center enough to give this a true invest area. All right, so we're just waiting. Now, what looks like spaghetti models that I share, they're available on weathernerds.org. Those are ensembles from GFS and Euro, which look like spaghetti, and they are spaghetti. It's just one brand of spaghetti. Samantha, this thing hugs the East Coast for sure. You'll have impacts. So everybody, kind of just watching. There's nothing to worry about right now. There's no signs of this thing being confident right now. It's 50% chance from the NHC. The wording says it best. There's an approaching tropical wave coming in from the east. Conditions expect to become conductive later in the week. It's a big guess right now, okay? And Louis is a statue. So we'll get right into it here. When I usually roll, I usually don't look up. So we'll. Oh yeah, Bobby, we were talking about you, Bobby. You need to be in our MWP chat. You would offer a lot of great content. Met a good buddy, Anthony, yesterday at the softball field. He is a firefighter from Fort Myers, and he told me a cool story that he was at a Firehouse Subs the other day, and Matt Devitt was there from Wink News, and Matt Devitt bought all of them their lunch. So props to my buddy at Wink News for doing that. So Gut, Chrissy, I'll get into all that. Right now it's all over the place. I'll be honest. I don't want to overhype or underhype. I don't believe in underhyping because we've seen Storms sneaky do things all the time. So, but anyway, real quick, and then we'll let Louie down. I hope everybody got to watch this video yesterday. I did. I shared it about 10 p.m. I know a lot of y'all knew it was Emily's last travel ball day. Now she's starting college softball. It was very emotional. I did this video on X for her. It was kind of like a Hallmark video card. Somebody says, why don't you say it in person? Well, I do say it in person, but to me, I wanted her to see it, that she can go back on. And then the coolest thing happened. The coach of, his name's Ron Lane, Pinellas Warriors, brought Sarah out. She had an at-bat. It was so awesome. So that was a big moment for us yesterday. And we had a lot of comments. It was very heartwarming. So if you need some good news today, go back and watch this video because it was really good. It makes you love the spirit of our future. A bunch of girls, very compassionate to Sarah. So it was good. It was a good day. So that's where we were at. And it was a pretty cool day. So hopefully you got to watch it. All right. So let's talk about these tropics. So what does this mean? Well, when we have an X, this is kind of an area that they think is where the center is at. There's an approaching area to the north. It's very, very complicated. But this is expected to start lifting. And anywhere in this orange area is where the NHC expects development. So they don't expect development for the next couple days. So if you're in the islands, chances are you're just going to get some rain midweek. Chances of development around Puerto Rico seem very slim. This is going to be a last-second development if it develops at all. But this is where we need to watch it because we've talked about it a lot last night. You know, storms can be tricky given 2 days over this water and this approaching MJO, which I'm going to get into. So anyway, they bumped the chance up to 50. I didn't know what they were going to do. We've seen some bursts of convection. It's hanging on. Here's the latest. I share a lot of radar sites. Weathernerds.org is a great one. Tropical Tidbits, a friend of mine, Levi, his is great too. This is current look. Now you can kind of see the bubbling here. This is the area that they're watching. It's, decent convection. It's not very organized. It's riding along this intertropics convergence zone. But this is the feature that's coming in behind. It's another tropical wave that's actually spinning up around, and there's actually moisture with this. So it's very weird watching this develop because this system might actually lift this system and become one as this thing races off to the northwest. Water vapor loop kind of shows it very clearly. You can see the areas of dry, dark air is dry air, but then we got some moisture here on this other little area wrapping up around. So this wave is slowly catching up to this wave, and this disturbance to the north could lift this up. So this whole general area right here, but it's very sloppy. Systems take time to develop. That's why it is not an it. When we were talking about Beryl, it was already circulation Cape Verde. These systems don't just go from nothing to Cat 5 and overnight usually. But Hurricane Otis, we never say never in the tropics, but as of now, it's very sloppy. But this is the interesting feature that's coming in from behind, and it's going to mingle with this, and an expected lift to the northwest is expected soon. Another look here is a precipitable water map. This is the amount of water moisture, kind of like water vapor. Almost the same, but it gives you a better, clear picture sometimes. Darker reds, heavier moisture, but you can see this plume here. Now, this kind of came off of Africa a few days ago. We were following it. Remember we saw this thing eject out when our system was here? Well, this has been racing westward, and there's our area there. So this is just basically moisture in the atmosphere that's could help tap into our little system here if it does try to start rotating some. So that's what we're looking at. Sloppy, yes. Now the other area I didn't talk too much about, we've got this very odd cold front. Very odd cold front. Right on the doorsteps of Bermuda right here. You could probably look off to your west and see it this morning. Tons of lightning. But look at this little spin up right here. This is crazy. You can see it in the satellite this morning in radar. It actually had some spin. It's not tropical, but it was almost like a nor'easter. It was crazy for July. Almost August. And this is kind of rare. You know, we talk so much about how weather changes. The dominating Bermuda high forever, and then all of a sudden this little front comes out of nowhere and pops over the Atlantic. So it's all going to come down to one thing. This is going to weaken. The high is going to build back in, and the question is how strong is the high going to be for how far west whatever goes. I'm going to talk more about that here in a second, but this is water in the atmosphere. Wind maps here, interesting. We kind of got a little bit of low-level spin showing up. We're looking at this area right here, 850 millibar, showing a little bit of circulation. This is intertropics convergence zone. It's where the lower winds meet the upper winds. A little bit of 700 millibar, so you can kind of get an idea where it's going. 500 millibar isn't good at all. This is kind of the other area that's coming into play, 500 millibar. So these two are probably going to combine somehow as it makes this trek away. So it doesn't look very healthy. That's what that. This is that intertropics convergence zone. It's a line across there. You can see it on the tropics maps. This is kind of where the lower winds meet the upper level winds. These waves need to break off in order to become anything. Once they break off, they get a natural pull motion to the north, and that's kind of what we're looking at. This wave is being tracked by this wave, and right now they're just riding along that tropics convergence zone. So it's not really anything independent yet. This is that weird cold front we talked about. It's really making its presence known, and could be a player on this thing, lifting more to the northwest temporarily through the week. Posted this morning, weathernerds.org, latest ensemble plots. This is the Euro up top. These are all individual models from the Euro and USF. That's where I went to school. GFS. And Euro's had this eastward bias the whole time. Euro's stronger to the east side of Florida, possibly impacting Florida, possibly impacting the east coast. Okay, so Euro fans, Florida's still watching close, especially east coast, meaning Carolinas, that whole general area there, Virginia, as this thing makes that classic curve, wins the bend. But to be cautious, the Euro isn't always right, okay? The Euro is wrong with Beryl. So we look at all models. The GFS ensembles only showing 4 or 5 out of 31. A couple of them strong, a couple of them going through Florida. So the GFS is still all over the place. This is current look again. That's kind of what I just showed you. I posted that this morning, showing you this weird water vapor loop here coming into play. Posted these just a few seconds ago. These are your latest operational runs on Tropical Tidbits. These run several times a day. The latest Euro, keeping a low pressure right off the East Coast. These are weak systems. Yes, the good news if you're looking at operational models, yes, none of these are showing anything too organized. Cautiously curious, though. I say that. I made it up last night. That's my new threat level 2, cautiously curious. Level 1 would be one eye open. These are new, Shelly. All right, we need to make note of these. Level 1 would be a one eye open, meaning we're just kind of watching. 2 is a cautiously curious mode. 3 would be ramping up the tone mode. Write these down. 4 is prepare for the haters. Anyway, so the Euro's been trending to the east. The Icon has been trending to the Eastern Gulf. The Canadian's been trending to the Eastern Gulf. The GFS not showing anything last night not showing anything at the 6Z. As you know, the GFS is probably, in my opinion, the fourth most trustworthy out of these four. But it's been trending a little bit more in the Gulf here. So initial modeling seems like it does very, very bad with the intensity. So, what we're looking for here early on is steering currents and consistency. And the steering currents are everything right now. Upper air patterns are everything to give a sense of whatever it might be and where it might go. And timing is very important right now too. So my unprofessional opinion is to not look at intensity right now. We look at timing. And this is overnight Saturday night into Sunday. This is overnight Saturday into Sunday. And this is overnight into Sunday. So you get the idea. Friday somewhere here. Friday somewhere here. Saturday and Sunday here. Later weekend here. Later weekend here. Maybe Monday here. So it's this weekend. Kind of give you an idea. But if you're into operational models, they're not showing much. But they'll get you in trouble sometimes because we know things can pop quick in the Western Atlantic and Gulf of Mexico. And I'm going to show you some reasons why we need to keep that possibility. I did this graphic a long time ago. I share it a lot when I do my presentations for tropics. But for some reason, Irma came to my mind, not for intensity purposes, for tracking purposes. When Irma was somewhere down over here, I cut the graphic out, so I don't know what the original model was. This is a long time ago. The Euro was trending east of Florida, and the GFS wasn't. This is just an example that one time the Euro was wrong. And wrong with Beryl. So we got to look at all possibilities, I read the comments, try to. I post the Euro ensembles. It's like, okay, it's over. Well, it's not, because sometimes the Euro is wrong. So just remember that. And Sandy's always been a good example too. The opposite was true. The GFS and H Wharf out to sea, the old HMON or old GFDL, which is now HMON, and the Euro were predicting that turn. So, just kind of, we look at all models. But all right, let me close that out. All right, let's look at the last individual runs. Let's kind of get a sense of timing and what we're looking at. Let's keep it on the moisture map just for rain, so everybody kind of knows when things can get a little wild. Maybe let's go to 00Z. Well, 6Z Euro will be out now, 90 hours. But all right, basic glob of whatever is coming into play right here over the islands. There's nothing right now. There's nothing. This is Wednesday morning, so doesn't look like anything, right? Here's Thursday morning. Rain. Sloppy. What the hell? Oh, that's GFS. I'm like, Euro, you were showing something. All right, so this only goes out. Well, it kind of goes out. No, it doesn't go out far enough. Let's go to 00Z. All right, so there's your clump of rains Wednesday. Kind of merging with that upper level disturbance. Starts to get a very big broad spin. Broad lows take a longer time to get going. Puerto Rico rains Wednesday, Thursday. Hispaniola rains Wednesday, Thursday. A little bit more development shown here Friday. Weak low pressure over Bahamas. But then that's when things start to get going. I cautiously curious on this development. 1007. Warmer waters across the Gulf. We got the Gulf Stream. Never trust the intensity models this far out, but that's a general pattern for the Euro. And of course, keeping the Carolinas watching close and Virginia there. So that's kind of what the Euro's been showing. These are on tropical tidbits, by the way. The latest Icon, which did very well with Beryl. I will tell you, the models like the Icon I've been following for years. I think it's a great model for predicting things early, and it did very well with Beryl. The Icon here, 6Z doesn't go very far out, but same general idea, some sort of low pressure trying to get going here late Friday. The overnight 00Z runs a little longer, and again, it's more of a coastal hugger here across Florida. This would be, rain starting to impact late Friday into Florida. Here's Saturday morning, Saturday midday, Saturday evening. So, nothing too strong, but still strengthens it right along that coastline of Florida, 999. So, again, cautious on the intensity this far out. We look at 2 days. Here's Saturday 18Z, which is around, early afternoon. And here is Monday morning. So it would have a day and a half over water. So that's kind of what you watch. Same thing goes with the Euro. It would have a day and a half, maybe two and a half days over water. But the Icon's been pretty consistent with that. Like yesterday's 12Z run, a little bit farther west. The overnight OOZ model, a little bit more across Florida. Now the GFS is another pretty good model the last few years, I will admit. Sloppy rains Wednesday, sloppy rains Thursday. Here's Friday. Then it starts to develop it and kind of does the same thing as the Icon. Down by the Keys early Saturday morning, which means Friday night you'll start getting bands. Here's Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, then it's, Saturday evening into Sunday morning, right off the coast there. Nothing too strong, but again, cautious. This would be, late Sunday night, early Monday morning. So you get the pattern. The bend's coming, when's the bend, right? We got a weakness in the high pressure area. And I don't have to remind the folks across the west coast of Florida, what is the moon cycle, by the way? I haven't looked in a while. We had a no-name storm in December do a lot of flooding. Idalia was 100 miles off our coast, did a lot of flooding. Ada was 65 miles off our coast, and it did a lot of flooding. So even a scenario like that might only be a weaker system, we could have big serious impacts with flooding across the Florida coast. So that's why we always never say it's only this or only that. Where the hell is the moon thing? Oh, here we go, moon. So we are going to be nearing a new moon August 4th. So that'll be a little more chance for high tides going into this weekend. When is August 4th? What the hell? What is the date today? August 4th. I know somebody's already probably posted it. I turned off my damn note. I turned the ringer off and then I missed 99 things on my phone. All right. 4th is Thursday. No, that's July 4th. God, we're already into August. 4th is Sunday. So yeah, bad timing. So we'll be at a new moon. Now I know. Now you know. We all know. All right, there's Canadian. All right. And like I said, the GFS is all over the dang place as normal. Hasn't shown anything. Weak low. You can kind of see the vorticity here, the spin in the atmosphere, but it's not organizing it. Here is basic weakness. GFS just kind of brings it up here to the panhandle. This is a little bit slower, but Monday, Tuesday. And then last night 00Z. Here's a little clump here. Nothing really at all. I mean, it's been all over the place. Yesterday's 12Z actually organized it up into the panhandle. This was, a little slower system. This would be more Monday here. So it's been there. It's just not very consistent. But that's what the GFS does. So we got 3 out of 4. What other models do we got? Cool. So we don't have spaghetti models yet, like I mentioned. Once we do, we'll get these cool Hurricane H-Wharf models, HMON models, and Haas models. We just don't have that yet. I'm going to show you ensembles here in a second. I'm going to show you the UK model here in a second. The ECAI model, the Euro, has been almost exactly the same as the operational model run. Showing you some sort of development Saturday with a turn optic. So that's a new model. It's starting to show this wave coming in behind too, by the way. I know everybody's asking about the wave off of Africa, one storm at a time, but here, just an idea. It's starting to pop into the picture here as it nears the islands over the weekend and kind of going there. So I don't know if anybody else is developing it yet. No. So the wave over in Africa hasn't really shown anything yet. But man, we got 22 more storms coming. I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? I am not a wish caster. Yeah, we're getting into new moon. Is a new moon? Yeah, see, the new moon has just as high a tides as a full moon, correct? Right, Joe? I'm trying to learn. Brian, cool little note there. When NOAA predicts 2 to 3, they prepare for 5. Solar flares affect storms. I'm not sure about that. That's not really my thing. Don't know. Not my thing. Irma is very interesting. Yeah, Randall. Who are they complaining about, Shelly? I'm telling you, I don't even care anymore. Dennis said he brought out the band hammer. My buddy Dennis, he posted that. He's like, I'm done. All right. So some conditions here that could allow this to strengthen, okay? So I'm going to show you a bunch of stuff here. These are all things that, this is the UK actually. We'll look at the UK, and then we'll talk about conditions ahead. The UK did the same thing with Barrel as the Icon. Took a little while to figure it out, but the UK has been pretty consistent on this thing trying to spin up last second. This isn't showing anything too strong, but it is organizing it, and this would be Saturday, and that's 56 knots. Getting close, getting up there. So every run of the UK now. Yesterday's UK, a lot weaker, only showing 38 knots, but you still see the center circulation somewhere coming up. The latest overnight, I don't know if it's overnight for the UK, but you can see it getting really close there to the Florida coastline this weekend. This will be Saturday, so boom, Saturday. And then, doing that curve. That might be a plant alert, Shelly. Shelly has your own storm levels. Plant bringing in plants might be soon. But that's very interesting to note. So you kind of see the pattern here, like there to there. Do you see the NHC cone? Kind of doing the same thing. So I'm not making this up. Some people don't get that, but that's okay. All right, there's the UK. Things that might. Oh, we didn't show ensembles yet. Damn it! I keep jumping ahead of myself. I want to show you things that might make this intensify, whatever it is. All right. Ocean heat content. Ocean heat content is the water below the surface. This thing stays south. Incredible fuel. Goes north. Still a lot of energy out there. That's heat below the surface. So that's why this area in the western Atlantic needs to be watched, because this is very warm water. Warm below the surface. So that's why we worry about things entering this area right here. This is why we worry about this area later in the season, because it's only going to get hotter. There's some cool maps on Levi's site here. This is your anomaly maps. So like I mentioned before, it's not like crazy warm, but it is warm. We've had last week. Did you notice we talked a lot about? There was an upper level disturbance last week that was really blowing in some convection. That actually helped upwelling some cool waters, brought some rain. So currently, the water temps are almost normal, if not a little cooler than normal. But they are hotter than normal here. This could help things get going quick. quicker than normal, and then off the coast of Florida, things are above normal, both sides of the state. So any coastal hugger on each side of Florida would have warmer than normal fuel. We got this thing called the MJO, not talked about enough yet, I don't believe. It's a very big part of early season systems. Blue is more of a favorable phase entering the picture. There's all kinds of graphics. One's this one too. Green basically is better chances for storm development. Bottom line, more thunderstorms. So that's where we're at. It's going to be coming over quick. This is the first week of August, basically. Anytime I've seen it green, a lot of times we've seen thunderstorms just out of the blue, popping. So big part of the tropics here is this enhanced phase of the MJO sliding into the picture. Notice where it's at now, right? Pretty much here a little bit in the Pacific, right? Look, this is what's going on in the Pacific right now. Sometimes in the past, when you see a lot of activity over here, that's only means one thing. It's going to end up over here. That's that sliding phase of the MJO. So it's over there now. It's coming there now. This is the future. These aren't developed systems now. So they're anticipating this phase to get here. Then it'll be in the Atlantic. And the Atlantic's cool right now. Atlantic usually slow when we have a La Nina hurricane season. So 3 things are popping over there now. That's soon to be in the Atlantic. So a little look in the future. Sometimes you can look in the future of the Atlantic by looking in the Pacific. Wind shear coming next weekend. Is there upper level winds? Not that bad, honestly. We got almost some sort of an anticyclone, high pressure area developing above. There is wind shear 2023. Yellow is around 30 knots a shear. So this is the Euro. Not incredible conditions, but not the worst either. It's going to have a little pocket here. This is Thursday. So if it does try to start developing, we could see, and of course, anomaly maps, looking at anomalies. It's about normal, actually. The Euro has been bouncing around. This one's actually a little bit more than yesterday's 12Z. So it's just so hard to predict the shear. But anyway, if anything, it's starting to show high pressure buildup over it. Now, the GFS shear map's a little bit less. This is Sunday. Kind of same setup here with a dome possibly developing over our developing system. So, yeah, like wind shear doesn't look all that bad is what I'm getting at as far as development. Storms need lighter wind shear to get going. So, looking ahead, blue is very low wind shear. Green, not too bad. Yellow is when it starts getting too strong, but we don't see that here. So that's one thing. Oh, that's Twitter. I don't know why that was up. Let's close that out. And I thought I had... no, I didn't. No, thought I had water temps up, but I didn't. Okay. Let's look at a couple ensembles. Really there's no... all right, so the Euro's been trending off East Coast. We showed the Euro operational run, but these are a blend of models. The Euro's had this extremely eastern bias. And tropical storm percentages are pretty high. So, we even got some hurricane percentages now, which we never had before. And if you're diehard, Euro fan, we're starting to see hurricane percentages reach the coast here early week as this thing curves around that Gulf Stream, possibly. So that's the Euro. But interesting. Seeing little wiggles and wobbles, but again, it's so tight right now. Anybody watching, Upper Gulf, Texas, steering patterns don't really favor this thing making it that far west. GFS spaghetti models here. These are called spaghetti O's. It's kind of showing you individual little systems. So let's get into Saturday. Really don't even see the GFS. A couple little spots here Friday night started to get developed. 31 members of the GFS. And really only a few developed this thing. You know, we could say, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 out of 31. But you get the idea, kind of where it's going. You know, a couple weaker over here. You just kind of draw a line down the middle almost and see what's going on. Now the latest Euro spaghetti O's. Spaghetti O's. Who eats these spaghetti O's? God, does that taste just bring... I mean, all right. I haven't even had coffee yet. Man, that's crazy. I got to drink some coffee. Hello, Louie. Everybody got their Louie in the morning. SpaghettiOs. You could taste it right now. Remember the ravioli in the can? I wonder how healthy that was. Think they had any preservatives in it? I'm going to say hi to everybody here in a second. I just want to finish out. I don't really have any more thoughts other than a couple things maybe. SpaghettiOs on the Euro. You can start to see a couple developing here. This is Thursday. A few more starting to develop. Remember, it's got a big, strong east bias. And let's go to the East Coast U.S. You can see that obviously it's turning this thing with a few, you know, touching the East Coast. But, man, you know, so cautious to think this is no threat to anybody. But we see the pattern. The bend is coming. When is the bend? And I do want to look at a couple things here. I want to look at steering currents. Fascinating. Go back to Tropical Tidbits. We'll look at upper river. I like looking at 500 millibar, upper level winds. This thing gets stronger. It's more influenced by upper level winds. Here is where we're at now. About right here. Very sloppy. There's that little low going up in New England. Very weak low pressure system. There's your high way over here. This front line is basically pushed back our high. Very weak right now. High is going to come back though. The question is how strong. So I already showed the IRMA models. The season has been dominated by high pressure. So does that mean the high pressure is going to build back in stronger than what the Euro thinks? I used to think the Euro was king, but it really didn't do very good with Barrel at all. So this is going to be an interesting couple days because the Euro was the outlier with Barrel. Euro was pretty much the only one going straight west into Mexico. Everybody else had it curving up into Texas. Now the Euro is the eastern outlier, where the others are basically a little bit more to the west. So every run's going to be really interesting. But all right, so here is through the week. There's our little system trying to get going down here. This is upper level winds, so it's not really going to show it. But, you know, the basic high is trying to get back going here. And you can see it here and here, and the weakness here. So there's a weakness. That has not changed. There's a high. That has not changed. It's this opening that we've talked so much about with Barrel and how this digs down, how strong this comes back. So the story of Barrel was how strong this weakness is, and it got stronger each run. I have a feeling that we're going to be talking about this high and how fast it builds back. The same timestamp here. Let's go to about right here. This is Saturday morning. There's our high. GFS. Well, GFS is terrible right now, so it's not even going to tell. Well, we can look at upper level winds. Here's, you know, Sunday. little bit more ridge in place. 594. Could be a little stronger than the hey, what are you doing? Knock it off. Oh, so that's kind of in a nutshell. It's very hard to see, I know, but here's the high building back in on the Canadian. There's that weakness, so much like Barrel, every other storm, high. So, where does our system find that weakness around this high pressure system? So it all comes down to how strong the Bermuda high builds back in. Totally agree with that synopsis. Let's see here. Euro. Let's see if there's any change in the 6Z. Nah, not really. 6Z only goes out 90 hours. Here's last night's 00Z. You can kind of spot where our little system's trying to get going right here. This is Thursday. We flip over to 6Z. Well, maybe a little south, actually. It is farther south. Not anything significant, but it is interesting. All right, here's whoa. All right, here is last night's OOZ on the Euro, and is this OOZ? Yeah. Nope. This is 6Z. Here's OOZ last night. So here is the vorticity map, kind of showing where the low level center is guessed to be. You can see it right here. See it? Follow wind barbs. That's our spin. Very weak system right now, but still, this is kind of where the Euro expected it to be. Thursday night. Thursday night. 00Z Friday is Thursday night. So if we have any change in the 6Z, which just came out, our center could be more over Hispaniola, about right here. So little shifts to the south, and that's looking. This is Rainmaker, by the way. Listen, if anybody's watching Hispaniola, Puerto Rico, this is a very weak system right now. Sarah has a way of texting me. She can't really write yet. I don't know if she uses voice. I just got a text from Sarah that said, "Eater Dad Newton." I don't know what the heck she meant. So then I deciphered. I'm like, what does Sarah mean? Eater Dad Newton. I don't know what she said. Eating Dad Newton. I don't know what she said. But anyway, we could see a little shift in the Euro maybe. A lot of land interaction, but again, nothing's expected to develop until maybe here. So land interaction is there. So all right, a couple key points I guess we should make about tropics. Let's just pull up the big map. So without a true center circulation right now, this thing's going to take a lot of time to get going. We need stacking. You need organization on all levels of the atmosphere. We don't have that right now. That takes time. Once we get that lower level circulation with a mid-level circulation, then things can wrap up very quick. But until we get that, it takes time for pressures to start lowering. You get bursts of convection, natural cooling down, another burst of convection. It takes time for low pressure areas to start lowering pressures. So, any land interaction is going to really slow down development. But it also means we probably have more of this area here in play because a weaker system is going to go farther west. Then we know it has an extra day, almost Sunday into Monday, to try to get going. So weaker goes west, over land, takes time. If you remember the early stages of Michael, for example, even though it wasn't anything, it was still a huge ball of convection, and it had rotation, and you could see it coming together. You could see, it got the look. We say that a lot. There's nothing scientific about that, but when a system has the look, then something's happening, But we don't have that right now. Taking time to develop is the thing you have to realize. And there's nothing right now. The key points of anything, things we know right now, models are suggesting development of something. We know the timing of this thing. And we know the general area of this thing. And it's Monday. So if I lived in South Florida, I would at least have gas. I would, be in the mindset of what if. If I lived in the Upper Panhandle in West Coast Florida, I would be remembering there's something to be cautiously curious about. Same thing goes with the East Coast. So, the warm waters barrel taught me the warm waters barrel rapidly intensified. It wasn't supposed to. If you remember, every update from the National Hurricane Center started out very conservative. Barrel beat every estimate, every update. It was stronger than it was supposed to be. Most storms are stronger than what the operational model runs predict. And that's what we just have to remember. Anything over here we have to watch as a possibility. And if you don't like me saying that, if you think that's hype, turn the page, please, because being realistic, I can write you a book about storms that defied even the National Hurricane Center. And that's fact. So my messaging is that I've seen a lot of systems do what common sense said they were going to do, even though the models didn't do it. We always watch systems in this area, especially if they don't get tore up by the big mountains of Hispaniola. But right now we don't have a system, so there's a lot of guessing. But I'm cautiously curious. I like that one. Level 2. What did I say level 3 was? God, I forget. I hope you wrote it down, Shelly. What did I say level 3 was? I can't remember now. But yeah, Byron's right. That's what a lot of forecasters say. If they say 1, prepare for 2. No notification, Corey. Well, guess what? I'm live at 9:19 every day for the last 5 years. And by the way, if you want to know when I'm live again, cruise on over to Mike's weather page, and I got it right there. So I always try to put on there our next daily brew. And if you're in our brew crew chat, MWP chat, you should get a notification about 15 minutes before I go live, or 10 minutes before I go live. So that's it, guys. I don't know what more to tell you. I mean, we just got an area to watch. There's no reason to be worried. Just be aware. I know that sounds cliche-ish, but in reality, looking at this thing, it's very interesting because we have this fast approaching wave here that you can see wrapping around, and we have our wave here, and all this looks like it's going to try to mingle on its trek here. So it's a very odd little system that's coming together here. This is actually the area that we were watching first, and it caught up to this area. If you notice, the X hasn't changed in like a week. X is usually the spot that they're watching, but that X has not changed in a week. I don't know if I can go back and look at posts here. I don't know how long back I'll go, but that X doesn't seem like it's changed very long at all. I mean, here's one. Here, that was Friday. I mean, usually what I've learned is the X is a center. Usually what they do is just put a circle up without a point and without an X. But this X was on Friday, and here we are today. It didn't move. That's not the same X. The X that we were watching on Friday was actually over here somewhere. Now it's coming up. So reality is this guy here, which let's take a look at the water vapor loop. That's the one that we've been kind of watching all along, with the models anyways. And it's finally catching up to that other juice out in front. So let's put it on the big screen. Oops, I messed up. One more time. Boom, boom, boom. Here's that. There's that. This is kind of the big area. You can see it really well in water vapor. This setup right here, which is great. Wow, looking. Here you go. And it's in place here. This whole wild looking setup is kind of catching up to this setup. And remember, eventually they're expecting it to be here. So this isn't going to make a hard right turn. It's going to probably end up merging with this and become a new area that's going to be drifting here. So, but the latest GFS is here, or latest Euro, and it was a little to the north. So connect the dots. All right. So that's it. I wish I had more solid information, but I don't. That's just the bottom line. But it is something to watch. Chance of riding the coast, for sure, Beth. I showed that a bunch. Both coasts. Both coasts. So that's it. One system at a time. Yeah, we're not talking about it. There's really nothing else showing. If there was, they would highlight it. That area in Atlantic. These areas pop off of Africa, and a lot of times they fizzle out. So you got to give them a couple days to see if they stick. And again, we really don't watch things out there too much. It's always, 60, 65 degree marker we look at. This one's fixing to pass 50. So typically they don't get going out there. We usually stick to 50 degrees, or I do at least. Right here. So we're, here's 50 degrees, 60 degrees, 65 degrees. So this is really the area you watch. You get those rare long track storms that the folks in the islands definitely remember, but they're very, very rare. The strong ones anyways. So I'm going to do a quick little 90-second reel coming up. I'll leave it on the Brew Crew here. Don't leave me, Brew Crew. But we'll see about tonight. We'll see what the afternoon models do, if anything changes significantly. We'll be live tomorrow, 100%, Tuesday, 9/19. So set your alarm for sure. Thanks to all the people watching on YouTube. Thanks for all the followers on X and Instagram and TikTok. I did want to share this because somebody tagged me. If anybody knows anything about Wikipedia, there's somebody from overseas that is trying to delete our Wikipedia page. They're like, we can welcome a discussion in it, but I must have made somebody mad. Maybe I don't know. But there's a little tidbit for you. Not that it's going to change anything. It's just chalk it up to a crazy week of weather. And I only had beer one day this week, by the way. So all the accusations I take, I wish you really knew the truth. Okay, so let's see. Let's see a couple minutes here on the big pages here. Then we'll go into Brew Crew session. Beth, you're going to Bermuda 8-6. Well, yeah, you should be watching this one. It's probably going to stay off to your west, though. I haven't really seen anything hooking that close to Bermuda. So if it was me, I wouldn't worry right now. Welcome, Miss Kim. Good. I like your name. Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Laura Pierce. Thank you, Amanda Guy. Not developed at all, Taylor. It's just kind of hanging on. It's probably going to combine with that thing coming in from the backside. George, thank you. David Lewis. Only see 5 comments at a time, so I'm trying to. Oh, UK ensembles. Well, it's not an invest yet. That's a problem, Julian. We'll get some really cool stuff here from these websites, but I don't think we have any true anything. It's not an invest yet, so we got to have it to be an invest to get better modeling. So we're just kind of waiting on that. It's just no. It's not anything yet. I don't think they know where the true center is going to be. And the Hurricane Hunters, I haven't heard anything, so I don't know if the Hurricane Hunters are popping or not today. I don't think they're going today, but I don't know when they're coming. Oh, Adrian, what's up? Jeff, not a lot of rain showing. That's all dependent on the system, though, and that comes back down to that MJO. So there's going to be a lot of moisture in place next weekend across the Western Atlantic. So even this week, this kind of got me surprised a little bit. Oh, this is a hazards map. 7:29, 7:30. That's today and tomorrow. Look at this green all the way through the whole East Coast, almost all the way, the whole state of Florida, all of Georgia, Bama, Mississippi. Well, no Mississippi, Alabama though. Northward Tennessee. Heavy rain. We got heat indexes for the middle part of the U.S. right now. I've given up talking about the heat. It's summer, but heat advisories are up for middle part of the U.S. Of course, we've got a lot of storm prediction center maps going on middle part of the U.S. This is all because of that frontal line that's draped down to the south. Some flood maps, obviously, randomly. But big weather, obviously, everybody's watching the tropics. So thanks, George Diaz. The UK is very reliable, Julian. Yes. FPL is ready, Jeff. All right. I know our good friends Tammy and OSR are ready. Furman Crew is ready. They got their fast team on standby, guaranteed. Furman Power Equipment, 30% off. Make sure you have your generators running. Make sure they work. A lot of MWPs are now Furman customers, so we really appreciate that. Good people, Good people. And all our great supporters. Should be an invest Virginia. That's a question. That's a really interesting question. It needs to have some sort of a center. And I don't think the models are picking up on what we're looking at now, honestly. The models are picking up on the two merging into one, I believe. Let's take a really close look here. So it's kind of wrapping that thing around the. I can kind of see it. Let's go back to the. Well, let's just keep it here on Tropical Tidbits. This is kind of what it's showing. This is kind of what it's. Let me stop it right here. All right, a couple things. So here's the islands right here, right? And the general idea has been that. Well, here's that. Steering currents are still that. This is faster than that. So this wave likely is going to pick this up. And kind of pull it up into its core, in its moisture, as it heads off towards the west. You kind of see that going on already. Haven't seen this very often, but this is a moisture map. You can see this almost like a low here, obviously. This is the second wave behind the first wave. This is what everybody's kind of looking at, but eventually it's got to get here, and this is going to get merged with this, and it could get picked up into this as it rotates around, and you can really see that here somewhere. If I got 500 tabs open. But going back to modeling, let me show you. You can really see it clear on the vorticity maps. 700 here. So what's fascinating, here's our little system somewhere down here. Here's the one racing by that's going to end up going kind of that direction. You can kind of follow. Get out of there. Let me go to the Euro. You can follow this picking up that and just kind of maintaining that west-northwest track. So while we're looking at this, we should be looking at that, because that's picking up this. You quote that. This races by that. Here's that upper level wave. This is tomorrow. Should be on top of the one we're looking at now. It's basically going to pick it up on the tail side and go with it. So it's definitely what's happening here. Wow, that's really crazy to see it happen. The two are becoming one. And that one in the back is really the one we were watching first. Like I showed, that the dot hasn't changed. So it's definitely the dominant one. This little guy right here. This is going to continue on this track. And on the way, it's going to probably pick that up with it. Wild. Fascinating. All right. Cool. Well, listen, watch for anything special tonight. I'm going to do a quickie little reel here in a minute. We got timestamps if you're curious. Around 12 o'clock Eastern, we'll have Canadian Icon GFS model runs. About 2 p.m., you can go to EF Eurofast on Travel Tidbits, and you'll see a preview of what the main operational run will be. So that's around 2 p.m. We'll get new NHC update at 2 p.m. And again, timing is Bahamas Friday. South Florida could start seeing something out of this as soon as Friday night, with Saturday, Sunday on the plate. So, we got a few days to watch this. We'll see what happens. And that's it. Nothing else is shown officially on radar or tropics maps, which is very, 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 very weird, because we're supposed to have a lot more systems. 22 to be exact. It's either going to be very busy end of the year, or we'll have to adjust the numbers. Any other areas being picked up? Look at it. I mean, the Euro is not showing anything through August 9th. I mean, not even an area. Man, maybe it's time to go camping. I did get tickets to Daytona though, so. Kathy, yeah, I just talked about the African blob is nothing right now. So, all right. See y'all tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for all your support. You know, thanks for your tips. All right, we'll see you tomorrow, and watch for possible quickie later tonight. All right, see you later.